At 9 o'clock on a June evening, Aga Ali, a Pakistani living in Fulchester, walked into the Central Police Station and confessed that he was an illegal immigrant. He claimed he was being blackmailed, and after investigation, the police arrested Muhammad Aslam, another local Pakistani, on this charge. He's pleaded not guilty. The case has created considerable interest, particularly among the local immigrant population of the town. Aslam, the accused blackmailer, is in the dock. Ali, who claims he was being blackmailed, is in the witness box.
Believing in the true God above us, and that whatsoever I tell this court will be the truth.
You are Aga Sipet Ali?
I am.
Yeah. And...
Silence! Silence.
I wish to make it quite plain that I shall not tolerate any interruption. This is an English court of law, and if the gallery cannot keep silent, it'll be cleared. Yes, Mr. Golding.
And where do you live?
6 Abbey Mansions.
Mr. Ali, how long have you lived in Fulchester?
Arrived here in 1970.
And before that?
Before that, I was in Kaipur, where I was born.
Which is in Pakistan?
Oh, yes.
And how did you come to this country?
By train across the Middle East and Europe to Holland, and then by a little boat to England.
A little boat?
Yes, that's what I said, little boat.
And how did you arrange this journey?
I went to Karachi and saw the agent of Silver Star Travel.
And did this agent have offices?
No.
He worked from home?
From his shop, actually. He was a kind of pawnbroker.
Members of the jury, as I've already told you, Silver Star Travel is a company which is registered in England. Now, you will recall that I produced extracts from the registered company's house which showed that the accused owned all except 2 of this company's stores. Mr. Ali, were you aware at the time of the accused's involvement in this company?
Aslam. Aslam is a man who hides every possible connection.
Just answer the question, please.
Well, I knew nothing of him then.
What exactly was your agreement with the Silver Star Travel's agent?
For £600, they were to bring me from Kaipur to Fulchester over here, where I have some cousins.
Was the money to be paid in advance?
No, half in advance, the other half within 6 months of arrival.
And was this sum all-inclusive?
Oh, yes.
Now, I wish the jury to be in absolutely no doubt on this point, Mr. Ali. The £600 was to include the entire journey and every stage of it between your hometown and this town.
Correct.
Now, on the long train journey between the Middle East and Europe, you went as an ordinary passenger.
Yes, there are no legal obstacles across Europe. Great Britain is the only country which has these...
Yes, well, never mind that now. Now, what happened when you got to Zandvoort?
We were put into an hotel there.
We?
Yes, there were 8 of us. We had all come together.
A group of 8 led presumably by you?
Yes. Well, we waited in a hotel for 5 days. It was very cold. And then we were told that the next night at 11 o'clock we would meet a boat and that we were to go to a certain stretch of coast where...
Mr. Ali, I must advise you that you have a privilege. And that is not to say anything by which you might incriminate yourself.
Yes, but I am under oath to speak the truth.
You are indeed.
Thank you, my lord. It is a fact. I entered this country illegally. I do not wish to hide this fact.
As you wish.
Now, will you please describe the events on the night that you crossed from Zandvoort?
Well, we were picked up from a lonely spot in the coast by an English fishing boat, and then we were taken across the North Sea and landed in Yorkshire.
And the cost of this North Sea crossing was included in the £600?
Yes, but the master of the boat wanted more money to be paid immediately, or he would not take us to England at all.
Now, at what point did this happen?
When we met him, he said he had not been paid by Silver Star Travel, and that unless each and every one of us gave him £150, he would not take us.
Now, Mr. Ali, did you pay this £150?
Certainly not. We gave him £40, not 1 penny more.
Now, when you reached Fulchester, did you meet someone?
Yes, Mr. Aslam. He met the minibus and took us to a place where he said we should stay.
And what was the accommodation?
1 room.
1 room for 8 of you?
1 room. It had no heating. There was 1 cold water tap on the stairs for all of us. But we could not complain, as we had to lie low for 6 months to become legal here.
I must explain that. Members of the jury, under the law as it then stood, if the presence of an illegal immigrant went unchallenged by the police for 6 clear months, he in effect became legally resident here.
And who was your landlord?
It was a company called Burton Securities. I later found that the directors were a trust and that the beneficiaries of the trust were the children of Mr. Aslam.
Yes, well, that is not disputed.
And was work found for you?
Work you would not give a pig.
Answer the question, please.
In the Blue Indus restaurant, 98 hours per week. I scrub the floors, peel the potatoes, that kind of thing. I'm a Bachelor of Arts.
And how much did you receive for this?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Oh, well, they said they would give us £20 per week, but then £10 is deducted for the £300 debt, £10 for the so-called accommodation. Well,
did you not complain?
who to? I could not complain. It was a case of the most naked exploitation. Most naked.
Who found you this job?
Mr. Aslam.
Did you subsequently find out who owned the Blue Indus restaurant?
Yes, it was a company called Roxivin Limited, of which the managing director is Mrs. Aslam, the wife of Mr. Aslam.
That is not disputed, my lord.
And the other directors were Mr. Aslam himself and his aunt, Mrs. Calvi.
Mr. Aslam appears to be a man of many parts.
Indeed so, my lord. Now, Mr. Ali, what happened after the 6 months were up?
I became a legal citizen. Came out into the open, got a job, worked hard, started to buy a house.
And you married?
Yes, I got married.
And how long did this situation last?
Until June the 11th last year. And then the House of Lords made this ridiculous decision which actually reversed the law and made me illegal again. Liable to be torn from my home, the family, the
Confine
house.
yourself to the question, please.
But it was insane. You cannot make laws which apply to the past. It is not even fair.
May do so. And the law lords found they clearly had done so in this case. Whatever you think of it, that is the law.
Mr. Ali, bearing his lordship's direction to you in mind, what action did you take as a result of this House of Lords decision?
I went to the police.
And? Did you not go to the immigration authorities?
Yes, I had to go into hiding again from the police and the immigration authorities.
And while in hiding, did you receive certain letters?
Yes.
Are these the letters?
Yes, they are.
Exhibits 1 and 2, my lord. Photostat copies have been made, if your lordship would allow the jury.
Of course.
I'm obliged, my lord. Members of the jury, you will see when you get your copies that £10 per week is to be paid to Box 5, Queen Street, Fulchester, and in default of prompt payment, I shall be forced to consult the police about you. Mr. Ali, the meaning of this threat was clear to you, was it not?
Oh, yes. Pay up or be deported.
And
And they are anonymous.
I'm sorry. What action did you take?
I went to the police
You voluntarily gave yourself up,
in order to bring this fat blackmailer to justice.
even though you knew this could well lead to your deportation.
Oh, yes, and the police soon discovered that everything
I'm afraid you cannot tell us that, Mr. Ali. We shall be hearing from the police themselves in a moment. Thank you.
Mr. Ali, how much are you being paid for this?
What?
Well, isn't it true that you've been retained by a certain Sunday newspaper to give an account of your part in this affair?
I have been approached.
And given a contract?
Yes.
In fact, you've become quite a noted authority on the whole subject of what you call immigrant exploitation, have you not?
Well, I would not say that.
Indeed, Mr. Ali. Well, here is a major article written by you and spread over 3 issues of that same Sunday paper, in which you give a full story of your so-called exploitation in the Blue Indus restaurant. You paint an exciting, not to say highly colourful story in which you've cast yourself in the role of hero. How much were you paid for this?
That is a private matter.
£900, I believe, was the figure. Worth peeling a few potatoes for, I would have thought. What is your occupation?
I am not employed at the moment.
And how long have you been unemployed?
About 1 year.
Yes, and during that year, apart from the 3 items I've just mentioned, you've written 11 other major articles and made 4 fairly substantial television appearances, all of what one might term firebrand issues.
Well, I have not counted.
Well, I have, Mr. Ali, I have. It's quite a lucrative sideline. What is your main line, though?
I told you. I'm not employed.
Ah, yes, so you did. But in fact, isn't the truth of the matter that you've become a professional protester? You've marched, sat down, stood up, even gone on hunger strike in Trafalgar Square, always making sure that you are in the limelight.
Where there is social injustice, I believe in action, not words.
Yes, but these words do help your bank balance. Doesn't all this help to push up your newspaper fees?
Oh, my lord, he is attacking my sincerity.
As he is perfectly entitled to do.
But surely it is Aslam who's on trial. Aslam is on trial for blackmail, not
Yes,
me.
indeed he is, Mr. Ali. So let us turn more specifically to that. Why did you think that those letters constituted blackmail?
Well, it is obvious.
Not to me, Mr. Ali.
Yes, but I was in hiding.
Hiding from the police.
Yes, but...
Yes, because you had broken the law.
Only technically.
You had broken the law.
Originally?
Yes, and now you find yourself outside it again, you see. But all I can read in this letter is a demand for money.
An unjustified demand.
Indeed.
Yes.
You didn't owe Mr. Aslam any.
No.
But you reached the conclusion that he had sent the letters, although they are typed and unsigned.
Well, I suspected.
Indeed, you suspected enough, I believe, to give his name to the police when you yourself gave yourself up. But if you didn't owe him anything, why did you suspect him?
Because he had already exploited me so much.
And you say you are not in his debt?
No, I paid off the full £600.
Ah, yes, but that only paid the overland part of the journey. The crossing from Holland was to be paid for separately, and that had always been a part of the contract.
No.
Well, that was no part of your agreement with Silver Star Travel?
Absolutely not.
The contract was quite specific on that point, was it?
There was no contract.
What do you mean?
There was no written contract. It was all agreed verbally.
Yes, a verbal contract. You see, Mr. Ali, you owe and owed Mr. Aslam money. And the only reason you've dreamed up this charge of blackmail is so you can write a fanciful account for a fat fee.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Then what is the nature of your agreement with this newspaper?
Straight...
what sort of article about this case is specified?
A straightforward account.
Indeed. Now then, is this a copy of your contract with that paper? My lord, I'd like to introduce this as Exhibit 5. It has been disclosed by the prosecution at our request. Now, does this contract not specify that the articles must be about what it feels like to be an illegal immigrant who is being blackmailed?
Yes.
Yes, the word blackmail is actually used.
Yes.
So if blackmail wasn't proved, then the effect would be that this contract would be cancelled, wouldn't it?
Yes.
But if it is proved, how much would you be paid for the article? Read it out for us, Mr. Ali.
£1,400